Hey there, PlayStation fans. I'm going to make an attempt to try and live stream this HAN HEN installation, which will be the second time that I've done it. Once everything was up and running, it does seem perfectly fine, but for some reason, I don't know, I must have pressed the button on the XMB or something on the PlayStation menu. One of the packages that I installed completely disappeared. So because of that, I'm going to try and reinstall the hybrid firmware and start again from fresh. So I don't have a HD webcam or anything. So I don't know, I'll see how it goes. I mean, the stuff may still be here somewhere. It looks like everything's installed, but there's sort of no option to choose. It just doesn't seem to want to appear, which is a little bit of a shame. So we're going to be following what would be an obsolete guide for the HAN tutorial, because you now have the PS3 HEN tutorial, which is available on PSX-Place. I've put a link in the chat on that. So obviously big shout out to those guys for going through all this effort. I'm going to try and fly through it as quick as possible, but I'm also going to just give a couple of recommendations that I haven't seen in other guides, just to try and make things easier for people, if possible. But since this video isn't edited, it's going to make a bit of a difference. Okay, so one thing I've done is bookmarked all of the pages within like the PlayStation browser. So when you go into the internet browser down to bookmarks, you can then choose all of the links that we're going to be using. So some of the links actually didn't come back with anything at some point when I noticed I was first doing the guide, going through it, which was a bit of a nightmare. So this is just one of the things, it'll tell you step by step to enter in the links, but since I'm going through the whole process of reinstalling, just in case these get wiped, I'm going to save everything. So this is the HAN website. And the link to the dump, as it were, which we will be doing, dumping the PlayStation 3 information that you use for, I believe, signing games. Well, that's as far as I got, and it didn't work for me, so pretty sure I typed that incorrectly. Now I haven't checked with this, I might try and ask people in the forums, but whilst I had trouble finding one link on PS3 exploit, I did find this gembox.uss PS3 HAN, and I don't know whether it's can be trusted or anything like that. But from the look of it, the links do seem active, so I've also saved those as well. Although we may not be using them. Now having a list like this at the start, just to say like, you know, you're going to be using these, so when you enter the first link that they tell you to go to, you might as well just save everything. So this is the HEN. As I mentioned, I'm pretty sure you do not need to install HAN to install the newest HEN, but I'm just going to do the whole process that I did since the update wasn't available when I started, like, I don't know however long ago it was, weeks ago or whatever. I just suck at this stuff. I always try and do way more than I'm capable of doing. But I suppose that's how you learn new things, isn't it? Okay, cool. So HEN line flashbang, okay. We've also got, I should just copy that, shouldn't I? There you go. HAN enable it. And obviously the main link that we'll be using there. Okay. So hopefully this will work. Now, as I said, I've got HEN installed on there, and like things like Webman, like other managers, but they just don't show up, and they won't allow me to install new packages or delete packages because I haven't got a manager that I can do it with, which is pretty screwy. But we've already got a new user account created, so I suppose we'll do it. So part one of the guide is going to be creating a new account. Fine, obviously I recommend you guys read through all this anyway, and this information is still useful even if you don't use it. It will just help the whole process. So we need to go from section A, creating a second account, to installing all the stuff we need and sticking it on a USB stick, which is done. Now, there was a problem where one guide recommended you put a file in the packages folder, another guy recommended that you put it in the front. I actually had trouble installing some of the packages at a later stage from the package folder. For some reason it just didn't work, but when I tried it from within the main directory of the USB, it actually worked perfectly fine. So we've got a PS3 update and everything on USB. Chuck it in the PlayStation, right hand side while I got my controller in anyway, so that's fine. Boot the console, log in, navigate to PS3, exploit, yada yada yada. Okay. Now, is there a tutorial for installing, let's see, HEN with regards to the hybrid firmware? So we're going to update via storage medium, following data was found. I'm not quite sure if you can actually read it on there. Make it a tiny bit bigger. Okay, but trust me, it's on there. I know it's blurry. Always worry of doing things like this online when people upload edited videos. I'm sure it's boring as hell for everybody else, but that's just my personal opinion. So we're all plugged in, we're all ready to go. We don't want to turn off the system after it. So hopefully this will just reset the device back to normal. It does mention in one of the guides, possibly the HEN guides, that if you're on a lower firmware than 4.84, they recommend installing the official firmware and then installing the update. I was actually on a lower version. I haven't used my PS3 for a very long time, many years. So yeah, I didn't install the official firmware because I was like, fuck that noise. I don't have the internet data to be downloading stuff like that. So I just went straight onto the hybrid firmware, and it seemed to work. Now I guess this will be interesting for anyone that's developed the software if they've never needed to install a hybrid firmware over a hybrid firmware. Maybe this, if it breaks my PlayStation, at least people will be warned by me. I'm assuming the stream is probably laggy as hell. Anyway, right, so some other tips. This is good for the guys. One thing I do is whilst you're on the PC messing around, assuming you're on Windows, like search for a command and go to the file location, open it up, and just copy and paste it onto your desktop or onto a folder for PlayStation 3 ready to go, because you are going to need it. And then we can run everything from that folder then. I would also save all the links that you're going to be using within a text file, but I'll probably upload all this anyway somewhere and stuff like that. So these are the links we're going to be saving on the PS3 browser. There's 2 pages with tutorials there. I'll post the other one in the description. There. Now I'm pretty sure we've got all the links. There might be another one there that we need, which is the HAN flash mount rewrite. And we've got a USB folder. Obviously, my USB is already inserted in the PlayStation, but whatever. Okay, so we should already have a secondary user. And hopefully clean firmware with no crap on it. I don't know if it leaves any files behind or if there's any way to delete them. Not really sure. Might have to increase the bitrate on the stream. Okay, now everything's just showing up in weird bubbles, and it's also showing loads of stuff that has been installed that I was testing that just completely failed. So I have no idea what's going on with that. Do I need to redo all my network settings? No idea. Oh, I think I do. No idea what my network setting password is. No idea. Okay, cool. Yeah, this HAN guide is actually written by the same admin that did the HEN guide as well. Yeah, it's all fine. Okay. It's just a test anyway. Okay, cool. So, yeah, all I'm just seeing is this weird stuff, which should allow me to delete this stuff. Now that option wasn't available at all after everything messing up. And see, there's just, it's as if every time you mount it, it's doing something crazy. Like, but this is why we want to start from fresh, and this is why how we learn. I mean, these are 600-700 megabytes. I'm not entirely sure whether I should be deleting this stuff actually, but I mean, look at it all. One thing I'd like to know is if it's possible to get the license from the games that I have purchased on the store, so that I can use them on like another PlayStation if I was to lose my PlayStation, for example, or whatever. Just because it's a complete nightmare remembering passwords and stuff like that and connecting to the internet. And, you know, the amount of times I've bought Final Fantasy VII and Crash Bandicoot is just ridiculous. So only one of these is going to work anyway, but we'll start again. So that was using PS2 to PS3. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. I don't know what there's these new little bubble things in there. See, there's two up here. I have actually bought them. So I wonder if they just steal your passwords or something. Unlikely, but possible. Cool. Okay, so here we go. Where are we? Number 1. Log into your account. Yada yada yada. Should we sign in? Yeah. Just make sure it's actually working on the internet. If I can't sign in, we're screwed anyway. Okay. Connection with Sony network. Timed out. Great. That's not good, is it? I guess we'll just call that installing the hybrid firmware part 1, I suppose. Edit away.